Hi, within this lecture we're going to discuss how we can actually transfer this data into another computer. By now you understand that we are actually storing everything in this log, and rather than printing this, I want to send this to my Kali machine. So actually I'm going to comment this out right now because we don't want to print that on victim machine. We just want to get this variable and send it to the hacker machine. So we can just actually try to make a connection between hacker machine and the target machine by establishing a port connection or a socket connection, and that is not different than having a backdoor or a Trojan. However, it would be inconvenient for us to do that because it's actually one simple log and we can just send an email about it, right? We can just send an email of this log to the hacker machine or a hacker email without letting the user know. So we can say that send email of this log every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes, so that we will get these logs in our email every 5 or 10 minutes. And it's pretty easy to do that with Python because we have convenient libraries. So let me show you how it works. You have to import SMTP library for that, okay? SMTP-lib. So let me create a new function here and show you how to work with SMTP. So I'm gonna say def send email or send mail, and you can use this function in any other programs as well, right? For right now I'm gonna leave this input empty, later on I will fill. So first we will create an SMTP instance, a server, that is to say, to connect to the Gmail, okay? And I'm using Gmail in this example because it works well. You may choose to use your own email, but you have to read your documentation for your own email because we're going to specify some mail and port address. So this is how it goes. You have to assign a variable. I'm gonna call this email server, and I'm going to use smtplib.smtp, okay? All capitalized, all uppercase. And this SMTP thing will ask us the address and the port of our email address, okay? That is what I was talking about. For Gmail, this is smtp, not G, smtp.gmail.com. And you have to specify the port as well. It's 587 for Gmail, 587. After that, we have to tell our tool to connect to that address, okay? And in order to do that, we will just start the email server that we have created. This email server will have this start method on its own because we created this with SMTP class. So all you have to do is just say email server dot start TLS, okay? This one. So when you do that, it actually tells our tool to go to that Gmail, smtpgmail.com. And after going to that address, what you normally do, you go to gmail.com and of course you give your login information. So we will have to say email server dot login, okay? And this login function, this login method, will actually ask us to give input of our username and the password. This is where you give your credentials. So for me, this is blackouthacktasting@gmail.com, and in fact I have to give my password as well, and this is a very bad password, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, I actually created this for test purposes. You have to just give your own Gmail address or your own test Gmail account. So in the first line, we have created our address, and in the second line, we said that go to that address, and now we have actually logged in. Now we can send the email. So we can say .send mail. And this .send mail method will ask us from address, from which address this email will be sent to, okay, to address, and the message itself. Actually, we're going to use the same address for from and to, because we're going to send this email from our email to our email, okay? So I'm going to give this from and to, okay, blackouthacktesting.com, and we have to specify the message here. This will be log later on, but I'm just gonna call test right now, and this actually sends the email, and the last thing to do is to quit, okay? Just like a regular day, we went to gmail.com, we logged in, we sent our email, okay, and then we quit. We follow the same steps as we are doing this in a regular browser. So I believe I misspelled this with hack without K, so let me just make it correct. And then I'm going to, of course, call this function in my code as well, because otherwise it wouldn't work. So let me save this, and I'm going to test this. Once I just run this Python my keylogger.py, it should send email to me. And in fact, nothing will happen because we commented out the print log thing as well. So I'm just gonna kill all Python in here and go and check if I got the email from myself. In real example, of course, we will get the log itself, and we will test this in Windows in another computer as well, don't worry. So for right now, let me go to my gmail.com Gmail account and check to see if we got our email message. And here we go. Actually, we got the message. As you can see, it says test in here, and if I click on it, it won't say much because we have just written tests. So now we know how to send emails. So let's go back to our code and let's make this a little bit prettier. Okay, let's give this some input like email, password, and message itself. So you can use this function in another programs as well. So rather than giving this in a static text here, I'm just gonna call this email, okay? And I'm just gonna call this password. And of course, I will do the same thing for here as well. This will be my email. This will be sent from my email to my email, okay? And rather than saying test, I'm gonna say message. And we will adjust the send email function calling itself in this next lecture, and we're gonna see how to send log with this function as well.